I'm Caroline B. I'm the Nairobi Projects Coordinator with Handicap International Kenya program. Currently, I'm coordinating the projects in the field of Nairobi. That is the Vital Voices project and Inclusive Education project.
My name is Martin Okiyo. I'm a Senior Project Officer with Handicap International Kenya Somalia program. I'm a Senior Project Officer within the Vital Voices project.
The Vital Voices project is a project about, the title is Raising the Voice of Kenyans with Disability in the Development and Reform Process. So this actually is a project that is bringing out the voices of persons with disability. Now that Kenya just promulgated a new constitution last year in August 2010, how can we bring on board persons with disability to make sure that they are part of these changes that are happening? How can they be part of the changes in the counties, the money that is going to be devolved to the county level? How can they be part of that change? One of the articles in the constitution that is talking about a percentage of persons with disability to be represented in Kenya among the members of parliament. So if persons with disability do not know this, then they'll not be able to elect a person who will represent their issues at the national level.
It's barely a year since we had the constitution, which I've said is very proactive on issues of equality and discrimination. It's barely a year or even barely 2 years since the Persons with Disabilities Act was fully operationalized. So as we speak, not much has been translated from policy to reality. So we are hoping that with time, we will see the fruits.
The Inclusive Education project is a project that we are implementing in 2 regions in Nairobi, slums of Nairobi, Kibera slums and Dandora. It's about strengthening the basic education of children with disability. We've been working with 6 pilot schools in these 2 areas. We are working with 2 partners who are on the ground in these 2 areas, actually to be able to create awareness within the community, to be also part of the project since they are known within that community.
The Vital Voices project and the Inclusive Education projects share a lot in common. If you look at them, they are about disability mainstreaming within one way or the other. Vital Voices is about disability mainstreaming within governance and civic education processes, whereas Inclusive Education is about disability mainstreaming within the education sector.
How we are working is that we are building the capacity of the teachers in the schools to make sure that they understand what inclusive education is and to be able to implement it. We are also working with the partners to make sure that they create awareness within the community, the parents, the school committees, and even the opinion leaders within the areas to make sure that they understand what inclusive education is and they can be able to contribute towards making sure that children with disability access basic education.
Looking at the inclusive education, we are out to ensure that we have got proper governance within the education system.
The Vital Voices project actually is looking at influencing the government and making sure that their policies are inclusive of persons with disability. Now, when we look at the Inclusive Education project, we are looking at the education policy. How can we make sure that the education policy in Kenya is accessible or is implemented to respond to the needs of children with disability? So I look at these 2 projects are complementing each other. We're able to identify needs in the Inclusive Education project and take it a bit higher with the Vital Voices project to make sure that it is part of the policies that we are looking at to be able to influence and make sure that the government can respond to the needs of children with disability.